Emma stood in the dimly lit attic, the scent of dust and old memories thick in the air. The faint light from a single window barely illuminated the piles of boxes scattered around. Her fingers trembled as she reached for a small, worn wooden box tucked beneath a stack of yellowed newspapers. She knew what was inside. Letters. Letters from the man she had spent years resenting, her father. He had left when she was 10. No explanations, no goodbyes, just gone. The memory of her mother crying at the kitchen table was etched into her mind like a scar. Emma had promised herself she would never forgive him. And now, even though he was gone, the bitterness lingered. Her mother had called a few weeks ago, voice trembling as she delivered the news. "Emma, your father passed away," she had said. The words hit Emma harder than she had expected. She hadn't seen him in years, hadn't wanted to. But now there was no chance for confrontation, no chance for answers. She sat cross-legged on the dusty attic floor and opened the box. Inside were dozens of envelopes, each with her name written in her father's unmistakable handwriting. Her throat tightened. Why hadn't he sent them? What was the point of writing if he never intended her to read them? With hesitant fingers, she picked up the first letter and unfolded it. The ink had faded, but the words were still legible. "My dearest Emma, I know I've hurt you. There isn't a day that goes by when I don't think about you and your mother. Mistakes, terrible mistakes, and I can't undo them. But I want you to know that I love you. I always have." Her eyes blurred with tears. She set the letter down and picked up another. "I missed your dance recital today. I saw that your mother sent. Looked beautiful, Emma. I'm sorry I wasn't there to cheer you on." Her lips. She had waited on that stage, scanning the audience for his face, hoping he would walk through the door at the last minute. But he never came. Letter after letter revealed his regrets, his love, and his desperate hope that one day she would forgive him. But it was the last letter that broke her. "Emma, if you're reading this, it means I never found the courage to send these letters. I was a coward, but I want you to know one thing. Forgive. Not just me, but anyone who hurts you. Don't carry the weight of anger in your heart. It will only weigh you down and keep you from truly living. Love freely, without holding back." Her hands shook as she clutched the letter to her chest. Forgive? How could he ask that of her? He had left a gaping hole in her life. She sat there, surrounded by his words. Something inside her began to shift. Emma sat at the table with her mother. The smell of freshly brewed coffee filled the room. Her mother's eyes were weary, but there was a softness in them that hadn't been there in years. "I found his letters," Emma said quietly. Her mother nodded. "He always wrote to you. He just didn't know how to face you." Her voice wavered. "Why didn't you tell me? I thought it would hurt you more," her mother admitted. "But maybe I was wrong." They sat in silence for a while, the weight of unspoken words heavy between them. "Do you think people can change?" Emma asked. Her mother's eyes glistened. "I think people can try, and sometimes that's enough." The next day, Emma found herself at the community center. She had seen an ad about volunteering as a mentor for kids from broken homes. The thought of helping others who had experienced similar pain tugged at her heart. A group of children sat in a circle, their faces curious and guarded. Emma introduced herself, her voice steady despite the nerves. "I know what it's like to feel abandoned," she said honestly. "But I also know that we can find strength in each other. We can learn to forgive and move forward."